Hey, good morning, scholars and staff. It is now 7:29. Time to get started with some morning announcements. Looking forward to seeing all of you in action today. So good seeing you this morning as you were coming in. Today is Thursday, November 4th. And man, it is going to be a fantastic day. We got 2 days left in the Eagles Nest this week, so let's make the most of it starting today. And then we'll round out our day tomorrow with some Scholars of the Week and some fun Friday stuff. Looking forward to it. Hey, first things first, want to make sure that we are following the Fairview 5. So it's the start of the second quarter. That started on Monday. And so I've seen a lot of scholars really pick their game up with the Fairview 5. This is a great time to do that. Be reflective on what was great for you in the first quarter and some things that you may want to enhance or work on, get better at in the second quarter. Remember, that's that growth mindset. We're always going to get better. There's always something that we can continue to get better at and some things that we're great at too that we want to stay great at. So actively listening to the speaker. Number 2, we want to keep our hands and our feet to ourselves. Number 3, we want to clean up our area. Number 4, we want to be kind to others with our words and actions. And number 5, we want to do our best. Hey, let's take a look at number 3 really quick, cleaning up our area. So not only does that mean inside my classroom and when I go to specials, but I also want to make sure that I'm cleaning up my area when I go outside for recess. So, hey, sometimes, when we see something on the ground that's not ours, a piece of trash or a piece of paper, whatever it may be, a lot of the times we say, well, hey, I'm not going to pick that up because it's not mine, right? Well, if you see a piece of trash, part of cleaning up your area is, hey, just pick the wrapper up and take it inside and throw it away, right, on your way back in from recess. That really helps keep our school community clean. And if we do that together as scholars and staff, man, that would be fantastic. So make sure when you're out at the playground on your way in, if you see a piece of trash, hey, feel free just to pick that up, throw it away on your way inside, and then make sure you wash your hands when you get back inside with a pump of hand sanitizer. I about said sand sanitizer. That'd be a little weird. Hand sanitizer or using some soap and water. So thank you for doing that as we continue to keep the Eagles Nest clean. We also want to make sure that we know our scholar pledge, right? As a Fairview scholar, I choose integrity, excellence, and teamwork. Today, I will soar to new heights and do my best. I am a Fairview Eagle, and I will be successful. I think you are going to be successful today. So I reviewed some of the class dojo points yesterday. I was going through looking at classes to see where we are. Quite a few of you are already well on your way to the goal of 100 points. When I talked to a couple of scholars the past few days, you think the goal is 75. Don't be mistaken. It is not 75. It is 100. It's been 100 for the past week. So make sure that you know that you are earning those points. You're not given those points just by sitting in class. You have to earn those points when you're sitting in class and when you're going to recess, when you're going to specials, lunch, or wherever it may be. So make sure that you are earning those. And also making sure you're doing everything you can to be a Scholar of the Week. And then right here, a next level champion. So also 2 things about these pictures. Notice the scholars where their masks are over their mouth and their nose. And notice what else they have wearing around their necks, their lanyards, right? Make sure that your 1 cards are around you at all times, around your neck. So those are displayed. Your mask is over your mouth and nose as we look forward to having another great day in the Eagles Nest. I'm really excited tomorrow to crown some next level champions. I'm looking for a hallway champion, right? Looking for a cafeteria champion. And we're looking for a specials champion. And I will tell you, it is all up for grabs right now, meaning it is anybody's win. So anybody's game to win. And so today is your last day to put forth that effort. You're definitely going to want to win that cafeteria one. I'm telling you, tomorrow you will find out why that hallway one is a great one to win too. And then, of course, that specials championship belt. So, hey, this week and for the month of November, we are going to be talking about Native American Heritage Month. And so I'm looking forward to seeing some of our classes in the chat box here in just a moment, because before we begin talking more in depth or deeper into Native American Heritage Month, I want us to highlight just a few things. So first off, on Tuesday, we talked about the following, right? We talked about that Native American Heritage Month started as a month-long celebration in 1990, right? So about 30 years ago, it started as a month-long observance or a way that we celebrate the Native American Heritage Month. It used to just be just a day, but now it is a month. Then we talked about just over 2%, right? That's what that little symbol is beside the 2. 2% of the United States population identifies as Native American. And then, of course, there's 175 of those languages still around today. And then, of course, the Navajo language is still the most popular. So let's break this down just a little bit further. So the other day, I told you 2% of the population is Native American. So we got to know how many people live in the United States. I was going to have you guess this morning, but oh, that's too much, right? So there is roughly, I'm giving you this one, 328 million people living in the United States. 328 million people living in the United States. That's a lot of people, right? 6.5 million of those 328 identify as Native American. So 2% of 328 is 6.5, right? So over almost 7 million people identify as Native Americans right here in the United States. So dust off your fingers in the chat box. I want you to shout out some answers to your teachers this morning. Let's see if you know a little bit about some history and some world history, some geography and so forth, because before we dive deeper into Native American history and heritage, we got to know a little bit about the state of North Carolina, because the state of North Carolina houses a lot of tribes still today, 8 to be exact, that we're going to learn about. So I got a question for you. What ranking do you think the state of North Carolina is in population? Type it in the chat box. Are we number 1? Are we number 50? Where are we at? Number 1 meaning you've got the most, and number 50 meaning that you have the least amount of population. Now there's 328 million people living in the United States. What rank do you think North Carolina is? You can throw it in the chat box if you want to try to take a guess this morning. Ooh, Mr. Rogers said 10th. Miss Esser said 25th. Miss Burns says 6th. Miss McLean says 9th. We'll stop right there. Miss McLean nailed it. Miss McLean's class got it. 9th. North Carolina is ranked 9th. Oh, I hear them cheering. I tell you, they love it. They are ranked 9th in population. I say they, that's we. We're living in the state of North Carolina. We have over 10 million people living in the state of North Carolina. Go ahead and type in the chat box, which state do you think has the most people living in it? So we know there's 49 other states other than North Carolina. Which state do you think has the most living in it? I can feel the fingers typing right now. Miss Adams, go ahead and stop the competition. The first one. Miss Reynolds got in there too. Miss O'Brien. All right, here we go. Good. We know this one, right? California. Ooh, New York's close. New York's actually 5th. But ooh, Texas. Good guess. Texas is 3rd. Second, excuse me. California is the most populated, has the most people living in it, with close to 40 million people. So out of that 328, California has close to 40 million people. Now, last but not least, your last question for today to get you moving. How many counties, not countries, how many counties are there in the state of North Carolina? So in North Carolina, there are counties. I'm going to show you that map again. Miss Esser already nailed it. I loved it. Miss Morgan nailed it. Mr. Newell got it. Mr. Rogers got it. Miss Winley got it. There are exactly 100, and Miss Boone's in there too, 100 counties in the state of North Carolina. Miss Rowan's class got it as well. So take a look at this map. This is the tribal communities here in North Carolina. So I'm going to break this map down further, but scholars, as we are walking through this and through Native American Heritage Month, I want you to be able to see the breakdown of North Carolina. So these are the counties. If you counted each one of those little boxes, right? Well, they're not boxes, but shapes. That's 100. There will be 100 counties. Now, we live in Guilford County, but if you take a look at the different colors, there are 8 different colors, and that represents the 8 different tribes, Native American tribes, that are in North Carolina today, right? Remember what I said, 6.5 million people in the United States identify as Native American. Quite a few of them are here in North Carolina. These are the 8 tribes that we will take a look at. We're going to look at the Kahari Tribe tomorrow. That's the very first one on the list. These are in no specific order, but that's just the one that we're going to look at tomorrow. But I want you to see this before we get moving today. So the Kahari Tribe, we are actually, and you should see my finger on it, in the red, that is where the Kahari Tribe resides today. And they've been residing there since the 1700s. Now we're in the year 2021. And back in the year 1700 was when the Kahari Tribe came. And I'll tell you more about this county in the red. But if you see that arrow up there, that arrow is Guilford County. Guilford County has Greensboro, High Point, right? A couple other places, but that is where we are. We are in Guilford County. So we are in one of the 100 different counties. We'll talk about Guilford County a little bit further and how big we are in relativity to every other county, but I wanted you to see the state of North Carolina, right? See the breakdown of the counties, because you're going to see that tribes were all over and still today are all over the state of North Carolina. But I want us to do a deep dive of where North Carolina is. Last but not least, before we go today, do you see that little, it looks like a star? It's over this side, right? It's got an N pointing up, which means north, E, which means east, going this way, south, pointing down with the S, and W for west, going that way. So for instance, the red is in the eastern side of North Carolina because it's on the right side, right? Right is this way, right? So right over on this side. So we are going to be talking about some directional things. When I was in a 4th grade science class a couple weeks back, you guys were looking at a compass and using north and south and east and west, which is really cool. So I want you to learn, right, and see what the directional sides are. So if I said Western North Carolina, I'm talking about that side. If I'm talking about Northern Carolina, I'm talking about up there, southern part of North Carolina that way, eastern side of North Carolina that way. So I want you to be aware when we're talking about this, if I say, hey, they are a Southern Native American tribe in North Carolina, that means they are down on this side of North Carolina. If I say, hey, they're an Eastern tribe in North Carolina, that means they're on this side of North Carolina. So we'll talk a little bit more about that, but I wanted to give you a big overview of the state of North Carolina, because we are going to be talking about the state of North Carolina and all the different Native American tribes that are in it, specifically those 8 over the next couple of weeks. Hey, looking forward to seeing you in action today. I hope that you have a fantastic day. At 7:40, it's time to get after it today. Remember what we talked about the other day on morning announcements. If you come across a word problem today, a story, a vocabulary word, a concept in science, and you don't know it yet, there's the key word, yet. Don't get yourself down. If you're learning how to read, learning how to sound out words, and man, I just don't know how to sound this out yet. Don't give up on yourself. Success comes by making sure that we are continuing to practice excellence each day. Doesn't mean that we don't fail sometimes. That's totally fine. That's part of excellence. That's part of being successful. Be successful today by challenging yourself, staying actively focused to the amazing and awesome teachers and educators that you have in front of you today. Today's going to be an awesome day. Looking forward to seeing you in action. Remember to be great, because you are great. Have an awesome day.